Hi everyone, this is Colleen Francis at Engage Selling Solutions. Thanks so much for being here for your sales leader strategy. Today I want to talk to you about differentiation. Something I notice in the marketplace is that as sellers, it's all too common that we go out and say that we're different from our competition, or we're better than our competition, or we provide better service, or we provide better products than our competition. Yet we start acting exactly the same way as our competition in the sales cycle. In fact, we even sometimes demand an apples to apples comparison of our products when the customer is making a decision. And this to me reminds me of that parenting strategy, right? Do as I say, not as I do. Look, it didn't work on you as a kid or your kids, and it's not working with your customer. When they look at an apples to apples comparison and they see you behaving like everyone else they're talking to, they say to themselves, hey, you're all the same. So now all I have to differentiate between you is price. And what's just happened? You have commoditized yourself as a seller. And we know that you don't want to do that. So I urge you to force an apples to oranges comparison throughout the sales process, and of course, in the way you're talking about your products. Get the customer thinking, this is unlike anything I've ever experienced before. This salesperson is behaving differently from everybody else. And so now I have an opportunity to make a decision based on different criteria. When you do that, you elevate the conversation away from price and are able to talk about different value. So what could you be doing that the competition isn't doing? What questions could you be asking that they're afraid to ask? What people could you be engaging with that they won't engage with? Who could you bring into the sales cycle that they refuse to bring in? Quick story, one of my clients, global company, was losing business to their existing customers every time the customer went to a big competitive process. And they were losing it based on the sales strategy. In their case, they couldn't get their executives to fly in from all over the world to meet with the customer on these multi-million-dollar contracts, and the competition could. The customer felt huge value in that team of support that was being flown in from around the world and thought, this is different, this is unique. They care more about us than they do the other guy. And because my company, my clients, executives were unwilling to do that, they would lose the business. An apples to oranges comparison. So what are you willing to do this year that your competition isn't willing to do? And how are you going to create that apples to oranges comparison? We talk about this a lot in my just released book, Right on the Money. You can order it on Amazon.com, and I would love to stay in touch and answer your questions about the book by staying in touch with us here at EngageSelling.com or on any of our social media assets, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. Thanks for being here.